What if I told you the family you trusted your whole life wasn't your real family? What if the reason you were treated like a stranger in your own home was because you were never meant to be there? For 24 years, I thought I was unwanted, unloved, invisible. But one wedding night, one question from a stranger destroyed everything I thought I knew about my life. Was I the unwanted daughter, or was I the stolen child? Stay with me till the end, because what happened next sent my parents to prison and gave me a truth I was never supposed to find. If stories like this touch your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your love and support mean everything. My name is Alara. I'm 24 years old. For 24 years, I believed I was the extra piece in my own family's puzzle. Not missing, not wanted, just extra. I woke up every morning at 4:45 a.m. to the sound of the boiler coughing to life behind the wall of the storage room where I slept. It wasn't technically a bedroom. It had no window, just exposed pipes, a single bulb hanging from the ceiling, and a thin mattress that carried the scent of detergent and dust. In winter, the pipes rattled like bones. In summer, the air turned heavy and hard to breathe. Upstairs, my brother Caleb slept in a sunlit room with French doors that opened to the backyard. He had trophies on floating shelves, framed certificates, a 70-inch television mounted above a fireplace that had never once been used for warmth. He woke up at 10 most days. I was already scrubbing the kitchen tiles by then. We lived in a gated community in Westchester County, New York, the kind of place where every driveway curved elegantly and every mailbox shone like it had been polished by hand. My father was a corporate attorney. My mother hosted charity luncheons and book clubs with women who wore diamonds before noon. From the outside, we were a perfect family. Inside, I was invisible. Some people are born to lead, my mother used to say when I was small, and some are born to support. You're a supporter, Alara. That's a beautiful thing. She said it with a smile, like it was a compliment. I believed her. I believed her when she told me I didn't need to attend private school like Caleb because I was better suited for practical skills. I believed her when she said paperwork about my birth had been misplaced during a move. I believed her when she insisted it was safer for me not to leave the house without permission. There were rules. They weren't written down, but they were understood. I did not sit at the dining table. I did not speak unless spoken to. I did not invite friends over. I did not ask questions about my childhood. Caleb called me the help in front of his friends once. They laughed. I laughed too, because if I didn't, it would have been worse. The worst part wasn't the chores or the basement. It was the way my parents looked through me. Not at me, through me, like I was a shadow passing across their expensive walls. Everything changed on the day of Caleb's engagement party. He was marrying into one of the wealthiest families in the state. The Harringtons owned half the commercial properties in Manhattan. The celebration was hosted at a historic estate overlooking the Hudson. White tents, string quartets, champagne fountains, the kind of event that ends up in society magazines. I wasn't invited as a guest. I was there to serve drinks. My mother handed me a fitted black dress and a white apron that morning. "You look appropriate," she said, adjusting my collar. I nodded. I had spent my entire life in the background. The sun was setting over the river when it happened. I was balancing a tray of crystal glasses when a man stepped into my path. Tall, silver hair, expensive suit that looked tailored down to the thread. He studied my face like he was trying to solve a riddle. "What's your name?" he asked. "Alara," I replied. His expression changed. Something flickered across it. Shock, then something deeper. Recognition. "Alara, what's your last name?" I hesitated. "Holloway." He swallowed hard. "Do you know who your mother is?" The question landed like a crack in glass. "My mother is over there," I said automatically, nodding toward the terrace where she stood laughing with guests. The man didn't look away from me. "No," he whispered. "I mean your real mother." I felt the ground shift. Before I could respond, my father appeared at my side, gripping my elbow too tightly. "Is there a problem?" he asked, smile rigid. The man extended his hand. "Jonathan Harrington. I'm the bride's father." Of course he was. And he was still staring at me. "I'd like a private word," Jonathan said calmly. My father's grip tightened. "That won't be necessary." But Jonathan didn't back down. "I insist." I don't know what made my father agree. Maybe it was pride. Maybe it was fear. We stepped away from the crowd toward the edge of the garden. Jonathan pulled a worn photograph from his jacket pocket. It was creased at the edges, handled many times. A young woman held a baby in her arms. The baby had dark curls, green eyes. My eyes. "That's my daughter, Amelia," he said. His voice trembled. She disappeared with her infant 23 years ago. My throat closed. The baby's name was Alara. The music from the tent felt far away. My daughter died 5 years later, he continued. She never stopped looking for her child. She believed she was alive. I couldn't breathe. That child would be 24 now, the same age as me. I shook my head. That's not possible. Your eyes are identical, he whispered. Your bone structure. Even the birthmark on your left wrist. My hand instinctively covered it. How do you know about that? I demanded. His eyes filled with tears. Because I was there the day she was born. Behind us, I felt it. The weight of my parents watching. Fear radiated from them like heat. Jonathan lowered his voice. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize and never speak of this again. But if I'm right, then the people who raised you have been lying. Lying. The word echoed. I thought of the basement. The missing paperwork. The way I was hidden. The way no one outside the house had ever seen my childhood photos. There were none. Jonathan handed me his card. Please, he said, let's do a DNA test, just to be sure. That night, I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling pipes and replayed every memory. Every punishment for asking questions. Every time I'd been told I was lucky. Lucky to have a roof, lucky to be fed. What if I had never been theirs? The test took 3 days. 3 days of my mother watching me like a hawk. 3 days of my father snapping at every small mistake. 3 days of silence heavy enough to crush bone. When Jonathan called, his voice broke before he finished the first sentence. It's a match. 99.9%. I wasn't Alara Holloway. I was Alara Monroe Harrington. I had been reported missing at 18 months old. The case had gone cold. Until a wedding. The investigation moved fast after that. Paper trails surfaced. An illegal private adoption broker. Large cash withdrawals from my father's accounts 23 years ago. Fake medical records. I wasn't adopted. I had been purchased. The day federal agents came to the house, my mother screamed my name like she had the right to it. Alara, tell them we loved you. Loved me. Love doesn't come with a locked basement door. Love doesn't erase a child's identity. Love doesn't make someone feel like furniture. My father didn't scream. He just looked at me with something I'd never seen before. Not anger. Not authority. Fear. They were arrested in the foyer where I had polished marble floors for years. Caleb stood frozen on the staircase. This can't be real, he kept repeating. But it was. Trials followed. Headlines, cameras outside the gate. I testified. I told the court about the rules, the isolation, the way I had never been allowed to exist outside their control. They were sentenced. Prison terms measured in decades. The house was seized. Caleb lost his fiancée within weeks. Jonathan, my grandfather, welcomed me into a home where my name was already engraved on silver heirlooms that had waited 24 years for me. There was a trust my mother had set up in case I was ever found. There were letters. She had written one every year on my birthday. 24 letters. In the first one, she wrote, "My sweet Alara, if you ever read this, know that I searched for you every day. You were never unwanted. You were stolen. Stolen. For years, I thought I was unwanted. I wasn't unwanted. I was taken. I'm telling you this now from a small apartment near Columbia University. I'm studying criminal psychology. I want to work with missing persons cases. I want to sit across from families who feel hopeless and tell them not to give up. Sometimes I still wake up before dawn, but now I wake up because I choose to. I sit by my window, I drink coffee, I read my mother's letters. I am not the girl in the basement anymore. I am not the supporter. I am not the extra piece. I am the child who was loved and found. If you've ever felt invisible in your own family, if you've ever been told you were less, if you've ever questioned your worth because of the way someone treated you, listen to me carefully. The way they treated you is not proof of your value. It is proof of their failure. If this story touched something inside you, like this video and subscribe to the channel. Not for numbers, but because stories like this remind people they are not alone. And if you're still here at the end, tell me where you're watching from. Because somewhere out there, someone is still searching. And maybe, just maybe, they're closer to the truth than they think.